Okay, what I'm showing here is a repair on a Liftmaster LA400 gate motor. There's a part that's pretty common to fail, and that's this gear right here gets worn out and won't get turned by this screw gear. So we've got an extra motor because a long time ago they weren't selling the repair kit for that, and you'd have to buy the whole motor for $400+. Now they sell the repair kit, and it comes with the new gear and some bushings. All right, one more thing to add. Here's the part number for that spare release shaft, that worn out gear. It was from gatehouse.com. Again, I'll put the link down in the notes below. That's the part number 041ASWG-0440SA. It was $32.70. And here is the rear connector. I forget what it's called. The tailpiece that hooks onto the hinge. 041ASWG-0014SA. And that was $13.68, I believe. I've got it partially disassembled. I'll go ahead and go through the rest of it. Maybe during the reassembly you can see how it all goes together. So the first thing we do is there's a screw here, and then there's two screws here and here. Pull this screw off here, and then this back bracket comes off. Then this will lift out. Once those two screws are out, you can set this aside. Normally there's a cable coming in here with a connector. I've disassembled it because I'm going to still use that old cable. So then you need to pull off these screws here. There's one in here, and this fourth one. Let's see if I can get in there. Yeah, it's down in there. So anyways, once you do that, and then if you pop this guy off, you pull this whole thing out, set that aside, and then this actuator is on a spring. That's what disengages the gate when you need to open it. So then the bushings will just lift out. You got to kind of jiggle it out a little bit to get the gears to turn just at the right spot to get it out. And then it walks out, and you can see, if I can focus up on it, the gears are kind of flattened and chewed up a little bit compared to the new one. Not as rounded out. So now I'll start putting it back together. The kit comes with new bushings and that spring plunger, even the grease for it. So I'll start putting that together. Alright, so there I've got the new bushings on, greased up, front and back, and then there's this new plunger, greased. Well, you can see it pushes that spring and then allows this to freewheel. And, clicks into place. Alright, so now we're going to reassemble that gear. There it goes. Once you have that in, you can start bolting this back on over the top. Get that lever out of the way. Okay, I'll tighten those screws down, and then I'll go ahead and tighten this thing on. So now we put the motor on. And it goes in there. Alright, so there the motor's screwed in. You can see those two big fat screws there, and then the bracket put on the back here. This screw was a little bit shorter than these two screws, so if you get the screws mixed up, the short one goes in the back. I went ahead and degreased all that old black grease and put in the new grease. There was a lot of metal flakes in there from that previous gear, so you probably want to clean that out real good. And then I repacked all that gear down in there. Then you got to route your wires in around here. This is where your connector would go into your cable. You may not even need to disconnect it if you still have the cable intact. And then I'll put the lid on. And oh, one thing I did, I had a broken tailpiece. This is a pretty common one too. These will break off, so you can get a new one. So all of this, putting both of these parts on, is a fraction of the cost of the whole new motor, which they used to make you buy. Alright, so let's put the lid on now. Alright, so I got the case put on. I'm about to run the screws in. Figured I would try to get a video of the model number that we're using right here. So that's what we're putting together here. The screws that hold the case on is a size 25 Torx bit, so don't use a Phillips. You'll give yourself some headaches in there. And I'll put this back together, and that's it.